Dear European leaders, the COVID-19 pandemic has disrupted and changed our lives. It has created an unprecedented socio-economic crisis. Families and children who are already living in poverty and disadvantaged backgrounds were and are the worst impacted. Eurochild, the pan-European network that brings together almost 200 member organizations and individuals that work with and for children, turns to you as the head of state and government to show the way to a brighter future for all. The world is at a crossroads. Europe is at a crossroads. We believe Europe can live up to its fundamental mission, that of creating inclusive prosperity where no one is left behind. The COVID-19 crisis has exacerbated inequality, and inequality is at its most damaging to society when it is experienced during childhood. The lockdown catapulted many children into living nightmares, with nowhere to play, nowhere to learn, perhaps exposed to violence or abuse in the home. This experience not only scars children for life, but it creates problems for society in the longer term. As leaders, you know just how important good education, healthcare, and social welfare services are for society as a whole. It is now that we must determine our future by investing in children to end the cycles of disadvantage. Today's children are tomorrow's leaders. Our experience in childhood shapes who we grow to be in the future. That is why Eurochild is turning to you. As European leaders, you are our hope for a better tomorrow. We do not have time to waste. You as European leaders must put children's well-being at the forefront of your agenda as you discuss Europe's recovery plan during the upcoming summit in Brussels. More than 1 in 4 children in the European Union are at risk of poverty. Unfortunately, this is likely to increase as a result of the pandemic. Children, as they are already at higher risk than the general population, will bear the brunt of this economic outlook, not only now, but also in the future. We are lucky to live in Europe. Europe is still a continent where there is remarkable wealth and where human rights are mostly respected. So, as leaders of the wealthiest region in the world, I urge you to put child poverty to history by supporting the European Commission's proposal to provide at least 5% of the European Social Fund Plus resources to reducing child poverty in all EU member states. I fully understand your attention is now on restarting the economy, but I urge you to keep children's future at the forefront of the decisions you take. I know that in your own lives, there is perhaps nothing more important to you than your children or grandchildren's health and happiness. Please extend that to all the children in Europe. Please extend that to children whose parents are struggling to cope, to migrant children, to Roma children, to children with disabilities, to children who are placed in public care. Put the money you have available into public services that enable them and their families to thrive. Don't just think of bailing out businesses. Invest in our public good. Invest in our children. Invest in our children and families to break the cycles of disadvantage. Our world, our Europe, will be in a better place if you actually do.